Ladies, gentlemen, Octanes, and Roadhogs, welcome to another iteration of the QRLS Weekend Review. This time, reviewing Week 4. Joining me in the booth tonight, my good friend and colleague, the Jett. Jett, this was one of the craziest weeks in QRLS that we have ever seen.
Yeah, thanks for having me on this week, Little Bucket. This was a crazy week. So much fun. So many great matches. There was roster changes before these matches in the week, and these are all great matches.
Yeah, no question. And talking about roster changes, we're going to move on to our news section here, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking things off, as Jett mentioned, the Hammerheads transaction going into Week 3 coming out of Week 3 was nulled, and the Hammerheads and the Kings made some big roster changes. More on that on the next slide when we go over their match. Jett, give us a little bit of inside intel about why the transaction was null and void.
The players felt it was best for the league for it not to have happened, and they all got together and they petitioned for a rule change, and the admins had to agree with them, and I think it was the right move for the league as well.
Yeah, a lot of good voice and a lot of good interactive, Congress, if you will, by the players there. So great job by everybody in the league to work through this. And, it almost seems like both the Hammerheads and the Kings kind of made out of this one. Like I said,
it definitely worked out for the better.
More to come on that later on. Jett, yourself, Blubbernut, and K1 Killer hit 100+ regular season games all time. All three of you tied for the most at 102. Run through your feeling on the field. Obviously, you guys did very well this week. We're going to go over your match, obviously, later. And, just tell us, how it felt to hit triple digits.
Honestly, I'm stoked about it. I'm humbled. This is a thing we just started for fun, and it's come so far. And to have played 100 games now, we definitely had this game circled on our calendar this season. We're definitely going out to win this one. It's so much fun, and I hope that I can play 100 more.
Yeah, and obviously that's our hope as well. Thank you for your commitment and all of the games that you have been a part of. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now working on a record book section here in the stats spreadsheet where it'll be quick and easy access to stats all across the league, including single season records, single game records, single week records, and more. So once that is done and ready to go, you will see the new updated spreadsheet when the time comes. Obviously, a lot of stat digging and a lot of interesting factoids to go through and work on with that one, Jett. Kind of for the numbers crunchers like us.
I love it. It's a great idea. I just want to know when we start the Hall of Fame inductions.
Oh, man. Can't let out that secret intel, Jett, Moving on, the Gold Rush tournament was last night, and it was an absolute hit. The team of Will Six, Massimune, and Squiddy D won the inaugural tournament hosted by Red Terror, the captain of the Gold Diggers. And honestly, when I hear the word Rumble, I honestly get so excited. I had a prior commitment that got rescheduled to last night, so unfortunately I wasn't able to participate yet, but you did catch some of the action.
Yeah, I caught the second half of the matches once I got caught up at work and had to work late, so I missed the first half of the tournament. But from what I saw, it was some really competitive stuff and a lot of fun to watch. Everyone was using great, silly-looking cars, and it looked like everyone had a good time out there.
Yeah, and well put together by Red Terror and our media personnel in K1 Killer to really get that stream rolling and get the interactivity on the field. And the rumor has it that we had a mic'd up player last night. So
I've heard that.
So for any of you that didn't watch the stream, go check it out on the YouTube channel. The full tournament is on the YouTube channel now for your viewing pleasure. Let's talk about some matchups here, Jett. First match of the week was the Kings versus the Hammerheads. Those two teams that we mentioned kind of made out after the null and void transaction. And starting off, you see the vastly different rosters compared to last week.
Yeah, big changes for both teams. Both captains trading in their whole teams and trying to make a big change here. They had a rough go of it in the first in the first 3 weeks, and they said now's the time to make a change and try and make a push for these playoffs. And they both really went for it here.
Yeah, as you can see, Alex RL and Billy Bob both leading their teams. Both of them racking in the Player of the Week awards in their respective divisions. And honestly, as you can tell by the by the game-by-game number for the final score, this was, a coin flip away from going the other way each game.
Yeah, it really was. Watching the games, it was really back and forth. And how often do you get to see two players in the same game that are both players of the week? That's how good this matchup was. They were all close games, and any three of them could have gone the other way.
No question. All three games, only a 1-goal deficit. I'm very interested to see not only how these two franchises figure things out moving forward, but how the two rookies that they picked up are going to do moving forward as well. Joe Papa, 72 of the Kings, and Night Leaper of the Hammerheads, both now rookies in the league, looking to climb that rookie ladder, as we've seen a ton of rookies this season, Jett.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We got two brand new rookies who have never played a game in this league before coming into this already stacked rookie group that we have, and they actually performed really well with their really good teammates.
No question about it. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we have the next matchup, the first of the triple header that we had Wednesday night between the Speed Demons and the 3 Rocketeers, and this was the Speed Demons' first series win of the season, and they honestly looked very good here, Jett.
Yeah, and that concerns me because I play the Speed Demons next week. They looked really good in this matchup against, which admittedly another brand new team, another team that decided to swap everybody out, and Slurpy Snail goes and picks up Zovri and RL Zombie. But they definitely aren't a bad team, and they were able to make an adjustment, as you can see, because they came out with the Game 3 win and avoided the sweep. But the Speed Demons, whew, look out for them.
Yeah, our King Duwork really impressed me in that match, myself and Bearded in the booth for the entirety of Wednesday night. And, I think, as K1 has mentioned on this weekend review show before, that these guys are whipping up the formula finally, and they're going to be able to claw their way back up in the Savage Division, which we will be talking about a little later on when we talk about power rankings. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, the next match, the second match of the Wednesday night triple header, was the Gold Diggers taking on the Bleacher Boys, and we had a barn burner here, but a kind of old school 80s defensive match here, Jett.
It really was. This was such a fun matchup to watch right in the middle of the night, right? The key match in the triple header is the middle match, and these guys put on a defensive show. Everybody played great. All three of these games came down to 1 goal in the end. I think 2 of them went to overtime, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and honestly, as you see the totals there, 1 goal, 2 goal, 1 goal, it was absolutely just a patient style of play. As you can see, all these guys' stat lines, there were saves all over the place. Baby Dumb's racking in 3 goals for the Gold Diggers really helped elevate them in this matchup.
Yeah, it's very rare we see 3 players in a matchup with a savior. And that goes to show how good these two teams are and how well they know how to protect their net.
No question about it. And this one really helped the Gold Diggers in the season standings, as you know, Jett, because as we move on to our next match, your Clarity United squad was able to sweep the Headhunters, the 7th sweep in franchise history for Clarity United, and that one, on top of the 2-1 win by Gold Diggers, ties them now with the Headhunters in the calculated division, and more importantly, this elevated Clarity United to the number 1 record in the league.
That's right. Clarity United to the top of the leaderboard. Everybody doubted us, but here we are, and we're here to stay.
Jett, talk to us a little bit about Throttle Dog. I mean, we honestly can't talk about him enough so far, but when is the fall off going to happen? Because this guy is playing at a level that we have seen very rarely in this league.
Throttle Dog fits so well into the dynamic of this team, and between the two of them, I feel like this combination has allowed Throttle Dog to be able to go forward and play his game, and has allowed Heartless to kind of take a step back and play the playmaker and just be in the right position at the right time. And I feel like this team is really gelling right now because of that.
As far as the Headhunters go, they obviously entered the week with the best record in the league. You guys obviously dethroning them after this, but do you feel that this could be a potential finals matchup for you guys?
It definitely could. Don't doubt the Headhunters at all just because they got swept here, because they put up a real good fight, and we had to work hard to keep the pressure on them at all times. And we could have lost any one of these games with a couple 50s going the other way.
Well said indeed, by the captain, who hit 102 games this week, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned before. With that being said, my favorite part of the weekend review, the power rankings. And Jett, we see your Clarity United squad atop the world right now.
That's what I was hoping to see. I would have felt snubbed if I was anywhere else on the list, I'm not going to lie.
Now, as we look at these power rankings, a lot of people kind of nitpick at the individual positions of teams, but I want to focus a little bit on the division standings right here at the bottom of your screens, because in both divisions, the lowest ranking team record-wise is only 3 games out, meaning 1 week out of potentially being the leader of those divisions, Jett.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially early in the season here. We're going into week 5 here, which will mark the halfway point of our season. But with everybody being within 3 games, you could see these standings flip-flop again after this coming week.
Yeah, no question, and it's as simple as a sweep and another team getting swept to just totally flip the landscape upside down. And
Absolutely.
As you being a captain on the top of this standings chart, how does that affect you and your game plan going into week 5?
Well, you see, week 5 is a big week here in the QRLS. It's all divisional matchups. It's a huge week because you're always playing a division rival, and it marks the halfway point of the season, right? And then the trade deadline comes right after week 5. So now's the time to prove what you really have as a team and show the league what's coming in the second half, I feel.
Yeah, well said indeed. And everybody, let us know what you think about the power rankings and who you think is the top team or the top favorites to make the playoffs going into week 5. As Jett mentioned, we have the trade deadline coming. And for those of you who don't know, the moment a kickoff occurs in week 6, there are no trades allowed after that point. So a lot riding going on to this week 5 and potentially coming out of week 5, Jett.
Yeah. This is when the captains really have to make a decision if they want to try and make a big trade before the deadline, or if they think their team can really make it to the playoffs in the way they currently are.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we every week have a player spotlight section here on this weekend review, I should say. And with that, I did not tell my colleague going into this one who our guest was going to be. Isn't that right, Jett?
Can you feel me glaring at you right now?
Well, Jett, I did not tell you who the guest is going to be, because you are going to be the guest tonight.
Jesus.
Hitting 102 games played, executing the sweep. Your squad is now atop the leaderboard here at QRLS. Call it cliche, call it what you will, but I just wanted to, because we honored K1 Killer and Blubbernut prior to their streams, but your schedule unfortunately didn't match up for us to give you a little segment about 102 games. I felt that this was honestly the best way to go about giving you that recognition.
Okay, you got me good with this one. Yeah, yeah. It's like I said earlier, it's an honor to have been here and actually showed up every week. I guess only 3 of us have actually showed up every week.
Now, Jett, we have your all-time stats here up on the board. Kind of, here and there towards a lot of them, but one thing that sticks out is you're 3rd in saviors and top 6 going to crack into the top 5 in saves. Would you consider yourself more defensive?
I definitely take a more defensive mindset, I feel. It definitely differs because, this is my 4th season in this league, so I've played with a lot of different players, so you kind of have to adapt your play to whoever you're actually playing with and what works best for the team.
Right. And that's honestly a very good point. You have had a lot of different teammates. You were not always on Clarity United as well, former K1 crew member of Season 1, the franchise now known as the Kings. And with that being said, Jett, how do you feel this Clarity United squad that you have put together ranks among the teams that you've ever played with?
This is a really dynamic team. I would say chemistry-wise, my best team ever was probably Stubbs and North, because just from our experience playing together and having been playing together for so many years. But this team is so much fun to play on. Our comms are perfect. It really amazes me. This definitely ranks up there as one of the best teams. Definitely shout out to K1 Killer too, because back in the K1 crew days, we had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, no question about it. And Jett, my last question for you here. You're obviously one of the stat heads. You love the numbers. You love to just talk QRLS. You're obviously an admin. You are captain in this league. How do you think your chances lie at getting that first ever QRLS Cup?
Oh, I want that cup so bad, Little Bucket. I want it so bad. I think I've built the team that we can do it this season.
And I love to hear the confidence, and we will see, ladies and gentlemen, if the Jett and his newly formed Clarity United squad are going to be able to take it all the way to the QRLS Championship. Jett, thank you for entertaining my little ruse here tonight. I didn't think it fair to not recognize you if we had recognized the other two. So everyone give Jett a nice round of applause at your house, at your computer, wherever you're watching this stream. Thank you, Jett, for your commitment.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing this show with you. And I'm glad you got to interview me and make it equal with the other guys in the 100 Club.
The 100 Club, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up this weekend review show with next week's schedule. The Week 5 schedule is as follows. The Kings versus the Bleacher Boys. The Speed Demons taking on Clarity United. The Gold Diggers taking on the Headhunters. The Hammerheads. And the Headhunters taking on the 3 Rocketeers. And Jett, honestly, 2 matches really stick out here to me, and that's the Gold Diggers and the Hammerheads interdivisional, and the Kings and the Bleacher Boys interdivisional are really interesting matches for me.
Yeah, both those matches definitely have a chance to sway the each individual division one direction or the other.
Yeah, no question about it. And obviously your Clarity United squad going up against a team in the Speed Demons who really picked up a lot of momentum this week.
Yeah, they definitely did, as I said earlier, and we're definitely going to be watching the tape and figuring out how to prevent them from doing what they did last week to the Hammerheads.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes out in the Discord for when these matches are going to be scheduled and streamed next week for Week 5 QRLS action. I am Quicksilver59, a.k.a. Little Bucket. I have been having so much fun here tonight alongside my colleague, the Jett. Jett, is there anything you'd like to quip in before we send these guys home?
I just want to say thanks for having me again. This is so much fun. And everybody make sure to click like and subscribe and all that stuff, and go to the Facebook and get on the Discord.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to do everything the Jett just said, and keep your eye out for this week's matchups in the QRLS. Without further ado, keep it quick.